Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, June 5th, 2013. This morning in Moscow, there was a rush hour fire in the Moscow subway system at a stop very near Red Square. The fire injured dozens of people and it forced the evacuation of thousands of commuters on their way into work and caused closure of parts of the network. The fire was in a power cable in a tunnel leading to the Alkotny Riyadh station right next to Red Square. This is according to the Russian Emergency Ministry. About 60 people sought medical help, 11 were hospitalized. The fire was extinguished and then service was restored, but about half an hour later, in another part of the line, they found a smoldering cable in another tunnel in the same general area. Moscow subway is an essential transit link every day. 7 million people use it. And station or line closures are highly unusual for the network, which has the reputation of being the city's most reliable means of transport. The Insurance Insider has broke a big story. They're saying that the British Financial Conduct Authority is examining the major following form broker facilities devised by the big three brokers. This is after an outcry from a range of senior underwriting figures. This would presumably include the Aon Berkshire deal. Sources said that the newly formed Financial Conduct Authority is scrutinizing three key aspects of the deals as it seeks to determine whether any regulatory action is warranted. One of the aspects that's understood to be being looked at by the regulator is the potential for such arrangements to create conflicts of interest between the broker and its clients. CATEX made some news today. London market heavyweight Martin Robinson, who helped Exchanging roll out its accounting and settlement facility, has joined our office in London as managing director. CATEX is preparing to launch a new management information product for syndicates. Before his 10-year stint with Exchanging, Robinson spent 6 years as commercial manager with IT Direct at Lloyd's and 21 years with Lloyd's itself. We look forward to welcoming Martin on board. He began work here several weeks ago. The flooding in Europe is ongoing. Heavy rainfall continues to cause problems across Central Europe. Following several days of intense rainfall, the Czech Republic, Germany, and Austria are currently the worst affected areas. 7 people have been reported killed already. It's unclear yet as to the financial damage of the flooding, given the large geographic area. The German magazine Spiegel is reporting an initial estimate of 3 billion euros in Austria alone. This is the biggest flooding in Central Europe since 2002. The economic damage in 2002 was estimated to be at around 18.5 billion euros. There was a pretty good-sized earthquake in Hawaii by the Big Island of Hawaii yesterday. It was a 5.6. There were no reports of any damage, injuries, or tsunami. The U.S. Geological Survey reported that the quake struck in the ocean about 33 miles southwest of Pahala on the Big Island of Hawaii. A spokesman for the Hawaii County Civil Defense Organization said that, quote, it was a pretty significant jolt. Well, the deadly tornado that plowed through an area near Oklahoma City last Friday was even bigger and more powerful than previously estimated. The National Weather Service is saying now that the tornado was in fact 2.6 miles wide and it had winds that reached about 296 miles per hour. This classifies it as an EF5 on the Fujita scale. It's the second EF5 to strike the Oklahoma City area in 2 weeks. 19 people died in that storm and subsequent flooding. Oklahoma City also saw the EF5 that struck Moore on May 20th. That one killed 24 people. Moore was hit by a EF5 in 1999, which had the strongest winds ever measured on Earth at 302 miles per hour. The one last Friday, actually, all in all, people were lucky. It wouldn't be if you were one of those killed, but apparently the twister marched through countryside between El Reno and Union City, an area largely rural farmland. One meteorologist said you dodged a bullet. If you laid that path over Oklahoma City, you would have devastation of biblical proportions. Protests continue in Turkey today as demonstrators defy a government appeal to end deadly unrest in which 2 people have died in Istanbul. The Deputy Prime Minister yesterday apologized for excessive violence against protesters. A meeting between the Deputy Prime Minister and some of the protesters took place today in Ankara. Police used tear gas and water cannon overnight and this morning on hundreds of protesters who ignored warnings to disperse in Istanbul and Ankara. So much for the apology, I suppose. In Istanbul, thousands gathered peacefully at Taksim Square this morning, yelling defiance at Prime Minister Erdogan, who had earlier dismissed the protests as extremists and vandals. In the coastal city of Izmir, at least 30 people were arrested for encouraging rebellion over social media and tweeting misleading and libelous information. The police are looking for 9 others who they intend to arrest on the same charge. Well, climate change is always in the news, but according to a study, companies need better tools to analyze climate change data in order to use that information to make business decisions. Approximately 15 petabytes of climate data, or 15 million gigabytes, now exist worldwide. This volume of climate data is expected to grow to 350 petabytes by 2030. This is according to Computer Science Corporation. This information has the potential to drive billion-dollar decisions in commodities trading, insurance, infrastructure, manufacturing, construction, and other industries. Difficulty, of course, is being able to use it. Certain industries are beginning to realize that climate change is something that needs to be looked at, such as insurance, reinsurance, and farming. But the difficulty right now is the fact that the industry is unable to effectively mine this data to be able to make logical decisions. According to Zurich Financial Services, the science is there, but the data on the economic impact is not. Our industry has not figured out the trick to get people to stop building in really risky places. The current insurance system essentially encourages people to continue building in vulnerable places, such as the seashore. More data on the economic impact of climate change might bring behavioral change. Well, it's going to be amazing. The data is all there. It's all laid out on the table. Somebody just needs to build some sort of application that can actually interpret it. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.